Man, that was like a wild period of time. This last like week, really. But I think I'm finally feeling balanced. Whatever spike that was with the insecurities and the patterns and everything that happened this last like 7 to 10 days, it was a highlight, a stress test, a looking at your own behavior kind of period. And I think it's important that nobody forgets to look at their own patterns and behaviors here, and everybody has a little bit of that paranoia in them. For some people, it's thinking that you have to play games and thinking that you have to respond in certain kinds of ways, and realizing that you are doing that and making the decision to stop doing that. And for other people, it's thinking that everybody's out to get something from you. It's thinking that everybody's a leech, that they're trying to take advantage of you. Everybody has wounds. I don't think that these experiences, this double mirror scenario, is meant to polarize people in opposite directions. I think everybody on both sides gets something highlighted that they have to work on. And the man that thinks they don't have a problem to solve is blind. Using discernment to identify your issues is part of this journey, and that's true of twin flames, that's true of divine counterparts, that's true of karmics, that's true of everyone. It's gonna rain. Clouds. I think this was a test, but I don't think it was a test in every way that people might think. Things are rarely so simple as black and white and good versus evil. And when somebody is reflecting to you what you need to heal, non-response doesn't mean you're not listening. Collecting information is more accurate. But what they assume is that you are not valuing their words. That happened on both sides here. At the end of the day, these situations arise in order for us to heal, in order for us to identify the things that we need to work on. And sometimes you have to tear a leaf to spur new growth. After one leaf gets damaged, you realize you need more. And a lot of these kiwis are learning that lesson. These leaves grew because this one was beginning to burn. These leaves grew because this one was too closely bonded to that one for too long. This one started popping out of the soil because it was consistently being drowned. Our mint is beginning to grow its flowers. After being transplanted, because it was in a suffocating space. The basil didn't want to hurt it, but it was used to growing with a support. Now the basil has to stand up on its own, and the mint has to realize cycle completion, passion. The mint has to realize that the basil wasn't trying to strangle it. I was just talking about yesterday how when people make assumptions about me and my intentions, it still hurts my feelings. That's what I have to wrestle with today. After we've dealt with the other things, after realizing that the healthy thing to do in the scenario is to focus on yourself and realize that by focusing on yourself in that moment, you are not blocking anything with another person because, you know, they were taking their time or whatever the reasons were, we don't know. But you are moving forward in a healthy, positive way without taking anything off the table. But if that resurgence of patterns, things that needed to be healed, makes them think a certain kind of way about you, then they're the ones standing in judgment. We don't judge each other for our wounds. We understand them so that we can help heal them together. Options. Four of Pentacles, security. Knowing that the divine is going to push you the right direction. And that you just have to wait and see how it plays out. No one can make you feel any kind of way. You have total control over your emotional state. And that kind of situation where you have to conquer your old tendencies doesn't need to make you feel any kind of way. Page of Wands again. I certainly don't feel any kind of way. I don't feel bad. I don't feel like I mishandled the situation. Page of Wands again. I don't feel like I made the wrong choices. But I do feel like assumptions were made on both parts. And anxiety can make you do things, make you act ways that you think you've broken out of. But that's what this is for. You are meant to be testing your limits and fixing those gaps. And unless you have a scenario that highlights the gap, you can't plug it. These things are meant to help us grow. But conflict doesn't have to be part of it. Understanding each other's triggers and caring enough about each other to not intentionally poke them. But that doesn't mean that you're not working on it. That doesn't mean that you are just walking on eggshells about a trigger. That means that you are actively understanding somebody else and doing your best to facilitate growth with them. And when somebody thinks that they have all the answers or knows exactly how things are going to go, that can't happen. When somebody thinks that they had to beat somebody in a situation instead of meet them halfway, that's a bad indicator. Crossroads, Five of Cups. Because